97 Dakar, Agadez Dakar Rally. And here's today's events. Carlos Sotelo wins at the special stage. Stefan Peter-Hansel, though, although fifth on the stage, still leading by 1 hour, 20 minutes tonight. A big fight for the lead, though, today. Kenjiro Shinazuka of Japan and Jean-Pierre Fontenay of France. Tonight, Shino still leads by 21 seconds. Let's have a look back at yesterday, Thursday, January the 9th, stage 6, where Jean-Louis Schlesser rolled out of the rally. It was a big accident. 7 times he rolled and injured the hand of co-driver Philippe Monet, the round-the-world yachtsman. Shinazuka won the stage and took the rally lead after teammate Bruno Sabi punctured, and for Dutchman Gerard Jimink out after his Flying Dutchman act came to grief. Dislocated shoulder, and he's flying home tonight. But Stefan Peter-Hansel wins the stage, his 5th of the 6 stages, and extends his lead at the 1997 event. Well, a few retirements, but plenty of people got stuck. Toyota teammates Akada Yukata and Jean-Pierre Lasserre help each other as they go through this part of Mali. Temperatures close to 40 degrees here, and it shows in the sweat on the strain. Eventually they get going again and make the overnight bivouac at Menaka, an unscheduled bivouac as the route was changed yesterday to avoid bandit problems in the north of Niger. So they're still in Mali yesterday, going into Niger today. Big problem here for Bernard Malfario. Toyota support Mercedes. Tires exploded, as you can see, but they get it changed fairly quickly in the middle of the desert and get on their way without losing too much time. Big battle for the trucks. Carol Lepre looking to win for Tatra again, but he's got a lot of opposition, and it's Hino who are leading him at the moment, with Johan Peter Reif keeping that lead for Hino, and Joseph Petit 4th behind his teammate. Well, this is the sort of countryside they've been going through. The rally leaving Mali today, Friday, and heading southeast, crossing the border into Niger for the first time since 1992. It's a combination of camel grass, desert, and rocky tracks, where punctures are frequent. Well, the locals preparing the maize for the family's evening meals. Largely French-speaking in this part of the world, and largely Muslim, as they cross into Niger, the 2nd largest country of West Africa, with 8.8 million population. It's a former French colony, but it's been independent since 1916. In the north are the 2,000-meter-high Ayer Mountains, and then the formidable dunes of the Tenere Desert to the east, where the rally will be heading after a Sunday rest day. So in Menaka last night, these are the scenes as the raiders arrive late at night. No outside assistant, no air mechanics, and most of the trucks having to take a tarmac route, bypassing this part of Mali as they head on for Tahua for tonight's bivouac at the end of day 7. Stefan Peter-Hansel, rally leader, looking for his 5th win on the Dakar. Now behind the 276 competitors who started this event from Dakar is a fairly formidable air fleet. 22 planes carrying food, mechanics, journalists, television equipment, medical equipment, etc. Well, there's 13 organization planes, and this is the Nahua airport manager.
33 on the blue point Mike 08.
In use, we have in a week 1 or 2 planes, that's all. But today you can see our airport is plenty with plane and people, so we are very, very proud. We are very proud. We are very proud of rally.
As you heard, 2 flights a day, but 22 on this Friday
Le travail
afternoon.
consiste à partir une journée en avance sur le rallye.
We're part
pour
of the air
repérer
reconnaissance
le
crew
terrain,
saying, well, our
voir
work
un
here
petit
is
peu la
one day
disposition des
earlier in the
avions,
rally than the
car
rally
nous avons
competitors.
réuni
We
des
find
avions,
out where the planes are going to be
hélicoptères à
parked.
placer,
We've got 22 planes and 7 helicopters to place. So we'd rather not have problems at the start of the next stage and setting up the bivouac. We like to get everything ordered and in place. And how about the air coordinator for Terry Sabine organisation?
A parking area that was supposed to be strong enough for an aircraft then appears to be soft sand because the top was quite hard, but I had only 50 centimeters, about hard top and then soft sand. And when a heavy aircraft comes, it breaks this hard top and then sink in the soft sand.
Well, I mentioned about this Hercules C-130 a couple of nights ago getting stuck, and here is the story. They were at Timbuktu, and this SAF Air, South African Airways, Hercules became wedged solidly in the Sahara sand. Well, the pilot is one of the most experienced of all the South African bushflyers, Clive Davis, and it was up to him, once the television crews had finished their work for the evening, to get the plane out after dark, and just watch how he did it. 4 engines and full power. That is the spirit of the Dakar. We'll be back in a moment to look at today's Stage 7 Friday with the bikes. Welcome back to Eurosport, our coverage of the 1997 Dakar Rally with me, Mark Cole, looking at today's Stage 7. A new route, 396 kilometre special between Menaka and Tahua. Cancelled because of those bandit problems in the north of Niger. Well, today they will cross into Niger, and the news tonight, as in England and France, snow sweeps the countries. It might be 40 degrees in this picture you're looking at the moment, but they are forecasting snow in Niger, in the mountains. Well, 79 starters amongst the bikes of the original 127. Quick look at how the Brits and the Irish are doing this morning. John Deacon and Ian Graham started this morning, no problem. And the 3 Irishmen, Vinnie Fitzsimmons, Richard Fair and Adrian Lapin, all still running. Ian Craigie, they're out on Wednesday with engine problems, as you might have seen. We're on board one of the Terry Sabine organisation helicopters, Hubert Oriel's copter, in fact, chasing the bikes as Stefan Peter Hansel, 5th on the special today, keeps his 1 hour 20-minute lead. Number 8 here, David Castera, Stefan Peter Hansel's back up, 2nd on the special and 5th overall. This is Carlos Sotelo there on the number 19, Kajiva. He wins the stage as he crosses the border, but he's 21st overall after problems earlier in the event. He had a loose tyre on the Timbuktu to Gao stage, had to use a belt to strap the tyre onto the bike, and consequently lost 4 hours waiting for help. Fernando Gil of Spain, KTM, 21st on the special and 10th overall. In comes Peter Hansel to the border crossing, keeping ahead of Arcarons on the stage, which is his aim on the rally. Arcarons 9th on the stage after 2 falls today, but still in 2nd place overall behind Peter Hansel. Hubert Oriel marshalling the locals. So happy to see the Dakar back in Niger after a 5-year gap. In comes stage winner Carlos Sotelo. He hasn't won the stage at this point, but he's going to in another hour's time. Collecting the stamps which show they've been through the checkpoint. As Jean de Azevedo of Brazil on the KTM comes through the checkpoint and leads at high speed. But just 2 kilometers later, the bike breaks. Fortunately, Jean de Azevedo is riding with his brother Andrea, who catches up a few minutes later. Jean told us the motor broke. It was difficult to finish a special because nobody came near me and I wanted to have a good result to take home to Brazil. So brother Andrea arrives, tows him into Nahua, and Jean loses more than 2 hours. Andrea, by the way, 19th overall and 5th in the marathon class for standard bikes. Let's have a look at some of the other action today. Guido Miletti on the Kawasaki there, one of the few in the event, 10th on the special and 7th overall. Here he is on the number 20. And these guys are pushing. Rally leader Peter Hansel, the professor. This man, Slovenian ski instructor Miran Stavnonik on his KTM, 30th on the special. And Dirk von Zwitzwitz, German Dakar rookie, 8th on the special and 6th overall. He's an endurance expert normally. Paulo Marques from Portugal on the KTM, going past Norbert Schilker, KTM, who's riding with 3 broken ribs.
Nothing.
Dirk von Zwitzitz on board with him, listening to his commentary, saying in German it was an easy day for us today. We could race quickly because conditions are good, almost like an autobahn. Not really dangerous. So we had a funny sort of day and we could enjoy the racing. I'm very happy. Certainly more than 100 kilometers an hour today.
They're 8 minutes faster today. How they do it? I think they have to risk a lot. Woo! Nice corner. The squeeze are very dangerous. You try to catch your arm and then it's off the handlebar and you're off the bike.
Ja, war eigentlich ganz gut zu fahren heute, die schnellen Streckenstücke
Yeah, von Zwitzwitz again saying, yeah, well, it's
gut zu fahren und
good conditions. Yeah, nice corners today. I really did enjoy it and had a chance to look around much better than it was for the last 2 or 3 days.
Aber war gut, ich bin zufrieden.
But behind him, Carlos Sotelo arrives. It's down in 21st place overall, but he wins that stage. He was 3rd, incidentally, last year on the Dakar, and in 1995 finished 11th. So Sotelo wins the stage, it's Kajiva's first. We talked to the Spaniard after he arrived.
O que é que fazia este? O que é que fazia aquele? Cá de experiência vou testar bem aqui. É pena que mais pilotos portugueses não venham cá.
Well, it was impossible to have a good position for me, he said, because 2 days ago I had a very big problem with my bike.
A maior parte, mesmo a mim, mas eu tenho que tentar realmente vir cá para ganhar bocado de experiência.
So in comes Sotelo at the end.
Para mí, desgraciadamente, la carrera...
2 days ago, he said, I had a big problem with the bike and I've been fighting hard after this tyre problem because I decided that even if I'm not going to win the rally and I'm in 21st, at least I'm going to win stages. Well, I've done it today. Well, this victory is for Alexandra and for Anthony Boluda, who worked very hard every night after being 6 hours in the trucks as my support. Well, the Brazilian brothers arrived. News on our British and Irish riders. John Deacon, 26th tonight. Ian Graham, 42nd. Adrian Lappin, 50th. Fitzsimmons, 64th. And Dick Fair, 66th.
Parce qu'il y a note, on avait un 620 sur l'avion.
Donc on va changer le moteur parce qu'il a le droit de continuer. Alors bon, il va
so a little bit of news from those gentlemen. As you see the results coming out, John Deacon saying it's been a bit difficult. I had problems with my trip meter and rolling road book. He said, but I'm only riding at 50% because my sponsor Nick Ashley has made it clear I've got to finish this year. Richard Fair, please the organisers, changed the route for the last 2 days, says I've been feeling really rough for the last couple of days. Heat doesn't help, there's no way I could do it if yesterday's stage had been a stage and a road section, so it would have been just too long. He's 65th, just a reminder, Northern Ireland's Ian Graham, the Carrickfergus fish and chip shop owner, 42nd place, while CCM riders Adrian Lappin and Vinnie Fitzsimmons are 50th and 64th, respectively. Well, Peter Hansel leading by 1 hour 20 minutes, as you can see. Can anyone stop him? Doesn't look like it. We're going to take a short break and we'll have a look at the cars. We're back on Eurosport on the Dakar. This is Salvador Servia, top Nissan driver at the moment. He told us how the rally's going. The problem in the beginning of the rally was because of the transition part of the stage, and now it's a special stage, and obviously the map's not very good now, so we're relying on GPS. We've had to be careful because we reckon the road was going to be dangerous, and it was, as you've seen by the number of people who've gone out over the last couple of days. The scenes now in Niger, this beautiful, happy country, very happy country. I was there in 85 and 86 on the Dakar, and it was a relief after the harshness of Mali and Algeria to meet the Niger people. This is the type of villages they're going through now, Islamic country basically. But problems for Jutta Kleinschmidt today. Had to have a wheel change. She started off in 8th place this morning. She's now got Jean-Louis Schlesser and his team giving their full backing to her as she races her Schlesser original buggy with the Seat V6 power behind it across the desert. Hitoshi Matsuoka, the Mitsubishi Challenger long wheelbase car, passing Jutta. He debuted that car in 1996 in Dubai, finishing 4th, so he's expecting to do great things with this 3.5-litre diesel. Well, Jutta, who's backed by Eurosport incidentally, continues on her way. Let's listen to a commentary on board in English.
Tower, exactly. Normally this special today would be the liaison of yesterday, but you can see it's a real special. So it's not so easy to drive, there's a lot of sand and it's very broken. Only the first 100 kilometers was very fast. I think we make an average for more than 150, 160 around. But now it's not at all fast anymore. Very sandy.
Well, you try doing that with a cup of coffee in your hand. Well, Jutta 4th on the stage despite the punches, and she moves up to a very credible 6th tonight. But look at this. This is the battle for the rally of the 1997 Dakar. Kenjiro Shinazuka and Jean-Pierre Fontenay, 1st and 2nd, fighting it out at full speed, sometimes even in different directions. ...170 kilometers per hour they were timed at, and the rev limiters on these Mitsubishis cuts in at 172 kilometers an hour. The 200 car Fontenay, the 205 car of Japanese Shinazuka. Well, it's Fontenay who makes it in first to the checkpoint, and he wins the stage today by just 4 seconds from Shino. Fontenay telling us, I was behind Shino for a while and I wanted to pass, and it was good. Then we had a good race, and we didn't see each other for a while. We were on parallel tracks, 200 or 300 meters apart. And I came back and we crossed each other's paths without realizing it was. Anyway, then we started racing. Well, I won't say that. We went very quickly and I crossed the trail 20 or 30 meters in front.
I don't know how many different, but still I think 10 or 15 seconds different general position.
Mr. Bremer, I mean, you've got a wonderful situation as far as you're concerned at the moment, with 3 cars fighting for first place. Is it a little too close?
The only word I don't like is fighting. The situation is good. We are leading. That's exactly what we want to do. But we should not fight. And I think they are intelligent enough not to fight. I mean, it is too early to say something about who could win, who should win. It's much too early.
Ulrich Bremer, the man who managed the brilliant Paris-Le Cap wins for Mitsubishi, and Sabi's last wins anyway. Here's the action. Bruno Giacomo Vismara, Mercedes prototype, stopped in these 40-degree temperatures. He was 13th yesterday. He's lost 2 hours and he's dropped to 19th, as he tells us. The problem was the truck came in, got into difficulties. It's a pity because we're in the neighborhood of the village, but the mirrors outside, the truck couldn't be used, so we couldn't see anything behind us. It was a big problem. We had to pass the truck in the sandstorm. Well, everything went wrong today. I'd rather not talk about it. Maurizio Traglio, Nissan, 7th yesterday, but he drops 2 places. Jutta Kleinschmidt splitting him and Vismara. Matsuoka going past. as well, and this is Denmark's Ivan Riedsthot, his Peugeot P4 being pushed into the village. The only Peugeot on the event having started 68th this morning. Well, how about our British friends, Dick Partridge and Keith Parker in the Isuzu Trooper? Well, the men from Ipswich are still strong in the running. They had to fit a new windscreen after rolling the car out in the week, and yesterday they lost time after breaking a track rod. And Dick told us with no spare they had to cut a piece of metal off their jack handle and weld that on to use that. So anyway, this morning they were 101st of the 110 starters. They've never before made it past halfway in the 4 Dakars they've run in, so maybe this is going to be their lucky one. Halfway is a Sunday coming. Bruno Sabi third today on the stage and still third overall, so no change in the top there. Mitsubishi 1, 2, 3, 4 with Nissan, Schlesser and Nissan trying to knock them off their perch. Here are the results of the stage 7. Fontenay Shinezuka, Sabi, Jutta Kleinschmidt there in the Schlesser, and Hiroshi Masuoka in the long wheelbase Mitsubishi Challenger Diesel. Great performance in 5th place, just 26 minutes back, bearing in mind that this stage was 370 kilometers long. Well, there's the overall positions. Shinezuka still leading, first Japanese to have led an event this long. Fontenay, Sabi, Masuoka and Serbia, and just outside that top 6 is Jutta Kleinschmidt in 6th place. Good evening, welcome to day 9, Sunday, January 12 of the Dakar Rally, rest day in Agadez in Niger, as the president of Niger, Ibrahim Barry, visits the bivouac after 4,428 kilometers of rallying by the intrepid Dakar. Stefan Peter Hansel for Yamaha, leading by 1 hour 23 minutes after winning 6 of 8 stages, and Japan's Kenjiro Shinezuka, leading for Mitsubishi in the cars by 1 minute 42 seconds after 3 stage wins. Johan Peter Reif for Hino leading the trucks by 39 minutes, and Henri Pescarolo, T1 Toyota, on board. We're going to be looking at that later in the show. Well, this is the halfway point of the Dakar. Agadez is the beautiful mud city in the north of Niger, along the jumping off point for expeditions into the Tenere Desert and the rest of the Real Sahara. But Tuareg problems in the Ayer Mountains to the north and problems in southern Algeria have kept the road between Algeria and Niger restricted for some 5 years now. The first time the rally's been back to Niger, in fact, since 1992. Well, after starting from Dakar on Saturday, January 4th, it wasn't until yesterday, Saturday, Jan 11, that the Raiders reached the first dunes of the 1997 event. Now they have several days in the sand after today's Sunday rest day, and the dunes caught out many, as you can see. Belgian Francois Boucher, a touring car driver, survived this one and continued to arrive in Agadez 55th overall. Third place, Bruno Sabi digging himself out, having become stuck just 10 kilometers from the finish of the stage. But for others, as dark fell last night, they were still short of reaching home. Well, there's nothing that Isabel Robalo would like to do more than get to Agadez. We've got a problem with our car, she said. We've been stuck in the sand now for 45 minutes. We hope a truck will be coming along soon to help us. The Portuguese lady with her co-driver Cholima eventually do make it. Others meanwhile passing. This biker has been on the road since 8 in the morning. It's now 8 in the evening. Jordi Giovanantoni in the Mercedes truck arrives, gives the girls a hug and pulls them out. Cholima and Isabel Raballo get going, and last night they were 65th into Agadez. Well, after 8 seconds, Gerard Sarazan wins the T1 stage for Toyota, but it's Carlos Souza for Mitsubishi who is still leading the T1 marathon category overall here in 11th.